Sometimes the world forgets that behind every royal title, every public appearance, and every photograph captured by the cameras, there is still a child learning about life for the very first time. In moments when attention becomes overwhelming and speculation grows louder than understanding, it becomes important to pause and remember that childhood should never be overshadowed by public curiosity. The conversations we hear today remind us not only of the responsibilities carried by well-known families, but also of the compassion and patience that society must show toward the youngest among them. Concern for a young royal is an issue that often attracts public attention, but it also reflects a deeper responsibility that comes with being part of a historic family watched by millions around the world. A child born into such a family does not choose the spotlight. Yet from the earliest moments of life, every expression, gesture, and moment becomes a subject of discussion, analysis, and sometimes criticism. This reality can create a unique environment where normal childhood experiences are often mixed with public expectations. For any young person, growing up requires emotional support, patience, and guidance. But when the world is constantly observing, those needs become even more important. Children require time to explore their personalities, develop confidence, and understand their responsibilities gradually rather than feeling overwhelmed by attention or speculation. Family members therefore carry a significant duty to protect the emotional well-being of the younger generation, ensuring that they grow up with stability, discipline, and warmth despite the unusual circumstances of royal life. It also means carefully balancing public duties with private moments, allowing the child to enjoy the simple aspects of childhood, such as learning, playing, and building relationships. Public conversations about a young royal should therefore focus on compassion and understanding rather than judgment. When people speak about the younger members of a royal household, they are not simply discussing a public figure, but a child who is still discovering the world and forming their identity within a very unique and demanding environment. Public life brings a level of responsibility that most people never experience, and when a child is born into a well-known family, that responsibility can begin much earlier than expected. From a very young age, every appearance, every expression, and every small moment can be observed and discussed by millions of people. Cameras capture gestures that might normally go unnoticed in everyday life, and those moments can quickly become topics of conversation across television, newspapers, and social media. For a young child, this environment can be both confusing and overwhelming because childhood is naturally a period of exploration, curiosity, and occasional mischief. When those ordinary childhood behaviors are placed under a global spotlight, they may be misunderstood or exaggerated. Growing up with such attention requires guidance from parents, relatives, and mentors who can help a child understand the difference between private life and public duty. They must learn patience, composure, and awareness of their surroundings much earlier than other children. At the same time, it is essential that their upbringing still includes warmth, humor, and the simple joys of being young. Balancing these two realities, public responsibility and personal growth, requires careful effort from the family and those who support them, ensuring that the child gradually learns how to handle attention with confidence and dignity while still maintaining the innocence and creativity that define childhood. Strong family support plays a crucial role in helping any child navigate challenges, especially when that child grows up in a highly visible environment where expectations are often very high. Within a close-knit family, guidance and reassurance can provide a sense of stability that protects a young person from the pressures that come from constant public attention. Parents, grandparents, and relatives often work quietly behind the scenes to create an atmosphere where values such as respect, kindness, discipline, and empathy are taught through everyday experiences. These lessons are not only shared through formal guidance, but also through simple family interactions, conversations, and shared activities that build trust and understanding. A supportive family environment also helps a child understand that mistakes are part of learning rather than something to fear. When young individuals feel safe within their family circle, they develop confidence that allows them to face public expectations with greater resilience. Family members often serve as role models, demonstrating how to handle responsibility with grace and patience. Through their example, younger members gradually learn how to maintain balance between their personal identity and their public role. This foundation of encouragement and steady guidance helps ensure that a child grows into a thoughtful, responsible individual who understands both the privileges and the duties that come with their position while continuing to develop their own personality and perspective. Family support and guidance are among the most important influences in shaping the confidence, values, and emotional stability of a young person, especially when that child grows up in an environment surrounded by public attention and high expectations. In such circumstances, the family becomes a protective foundation that offers reassurance, stability, and a clear sense of belonging. Within a strong family structure, children are taught not only the traditions and responsibilities connected to their role, but also the personal values that help them navigate life with humility and understanding. Guidance from parents and close relatives helps a child recognize the importance of respect, patience, and empathy toward others. These lessons often occur through daily interactions rather than formal instruction, shared conversations, family activities, and moments of reflection that quietly shape character over time. When a young person feels supported and understood by those closest to them, they develop a sense of confidence that allows them to face challenges with greater calm and resilience. Family members also help create a safe environment where mistakes are treated as opportunities for learning rather than sources of fear or embarrassment. This kind of encouragement allows a child to grow naturally while still understanding the expectations placed upon them. In families with public roles and long-standing traditions, older generations often pass down wisdom through their own experiences, showing younger members how to balance duty with personal well-being. The presence of trusted relatives who offer honest advice, emotional reassurance, and practical guidance ensures that a young person never feels alone while navigating responsibilities that may appear overwhelming to someone at such an early stage of life, creating a quiet sense of strength that develops gradually through support, patience, and shared understanding within the family environment where encouragement and stability remain constant influences shaping growth and character over time while responsibilities and expectations continue to evolve around them, and the young individual continues learning how to respond with maturity and awareness within a world that often observes every small step closely and carefully. Respect for privacy becomes especially important when a child grows up in a family that attracts constant public attention. Curiosity from the public and media is often intense, and every small detail of daily life can easily become the subject of discussion, speculation, or criticism. While interest in public figures may be understandable, it is important to remember that children are still developing emotionally and mentally, and they require a protected space where they can grow without feeling constantly observed. Privacy allows young individuals to experience normal childhood moments, such as learning, playing, making mistakes, and discovering their personalities without the fear that every action will be judged by a global audience. Without that sense of personal space, even ordinary experiences can begin to feel like performances rather than natural parts of growing up. Families in highly visible positions often work carefully to create boundaries between public duties and private life so that younger members are not overwhelmed by attention too early. These boundaries help ensure that a child can develop confidence gradually, supported by family and close friends, rather than by outside expectations. Respecting privacy also encourages empathy from the public, reminding people that children deserve the same patience and understanding as anyone else their age. When society chooses to approach young public figures with kindness and restraint, it allows them to mature at a healthier pace, learning responsibility step by step, while still enjoying the freedom and security that every childhood deserves within a calm and protected environment where personal growth can occur naturally, away from relentless observation and commentary that might otherwise shape experiences before a young person has the chance to understand them fully and comfortably. Within their own developing sense of identity and confidence as they move through early stages of life and learning about the world around them and the expectations that slowly emerge over time, while they continue forming their own perspectives and emotional balance in a setting that values patience and thoughtful consideration of their age and stage of development. Lessons about character play a vital role in shaping how a young person understands responsibility, relationships, and the expectations that come with growing up in a highly visible environment. Character is not developed through titles or status, but through consistent guidance, everyday experiences, and the quiet influence of those who serve as role models. From an early age, children are taught values such as kindness, patience, discipline, and respect for others, and these lessons gradually become part of how they see the world. When a child grows up surrounded by tradition and public attention, these qualities become even more important because they help create balance between personal identity and public duty. Learning kindness encourages a young individual to treat others with empathy regardless of position or circumstance, while discipline teaches the importance of responsibility and self-control. These qualities are not learned overnight. They develop slowly through daily interactions, guidance from parents and mentors, and the observation of how older family members handle challenges and responsibilities. Mistakes and misunderstandings are also part of this process, offering opportunities to reflect and improve rather than reasons for criticism. Through patience and steady encouragement, a child begins to understand that true strength lies not in perfection, but in the ability to learn, grow, and remain respectful toward others even in difficult moments. Over time, these lessons form the foundation of character, shaping how a young person responds to pressure, public expectations, and personal challenges. As maturity grows, the values learned during childhood begin to guide decisions, relationships, and actions in a way that reflects integrity and compassion, qualities that remain essential for anyone who will one day carry significant responsibility in the eyes of the public while continuing to develop their own understanding of service, humility, and thoughtful leadership within a world that closely observes their growth and choices. Hope for the next generation is often rooted in the belief that young people will grow into individuals who carry forward values that have been carefully preserved and strengthened over time. In families with long-standing traditions and responsibilities, this sense of hope becomes particularly meaningful because the younger generation represents continuity, renewal, and the possibility of positive change. As children grow, they gradually begin to understand the history, expectations, and responsibilities connected to their position. However, the future they help shape will not be identical to the past, because every generation brings new perspectives, ideas, and approaches to the challenges of its time. Encouraging hope in the next generation means allowing young individuals the freedom to learn, ask questions, and develop their own understanding of the world while still respecting the principles that guide their family and community. Patience from elders and encouragement from mentors help create an environment where young people can build confidence and develop their sense of purpose. This process often involves balancing tradition with modern realities, helping them recognize how values such as service, responsibility, and compassion remain relevant even as society evolves. When the younger generation feels trusted and supported, they are more likely to grow into thoughtful and responsible individuals who understand the importance of their role while remaining connected to the people around them. Their development becomes a gradual journey shaped by education, personal experiences, and guidance from those who came before them. Over time, these young individuals begin to represent not only the continuation of family traditions, but also the promise that the future can be guided by wisdom, understanding, and a genuine commitment to serving others while adapting to a changing world where expectations, responsibilities, and opportunities continue to evolve in ways that require both confidence and humility as they learn to navigate their path forward with awareness and purpose.